4CA is real music, real opinions. 1300 872 911. John McKenzie, 4CA.
I just looked at my screen and I thought this is very, very timely given the catastrophe that came our way in December last year, and we're still not recovered from it, still a long way to go. But what am I on about? Insurance. And we're heading into another summer season. It's, as usual, forecast to be wet with possibility of cyclone or cyclones, plural. So it's we do this every year, actually. We catch up with Bradley Heath. He's the Managing Director of Sure Insurance. Why? Fundamentally, it's to remind people of the exposure to, well, in some cases, catastrophic events as we head into summer. And he's on the line. Yes, he's set to go. Hello, Brad.
Good morning, John.
We seem to do this same time every year, but with good reason. Actually, I was just listening the other day. Sometimes the forecasts are more spine-chilling than other times. I mean, it wasn't a very encouraging one that came out about, I don't know, a week ago, 10 days ago or something. It wasn't just possibility of one cyclone, it was cyclones, plural for a start, wetter than usual summer season. So it certainly wasn't an encouraging outlook, Brad.
No, look, it wasn't. And we do see this each year where there are predictions made and different people make different predictions. People in North Queensland know that there's always a possibility of a cyclone, and we've seen cyclones in so-called dry years, and we've seen no cyclones in so-called wet years, and we've seen everything in between. Yeah. And this is about being prepared for cyclones. It's about what people in North Queensland already know about getting into that state of mind for the summer season to come.
Exactly. I really appreciate it because I know you do it every year. It's almost like a 1, 2, 3. The things you should get organised before the season proper hits, like, for example, preparations around the house, etc. Can you step us through them again?
Look, I will, John. It's the things that people do know, but it is a timely reminder. I mean, making sure that you're prepared personally for the event with things like emergency kits. People know what to put in there around important papers, medication, but looking after things like mobile phone chargers, just simple things like that, and those little spare batteries you can get are useful. Yeah. I always travel with one of them in case something happens.
Yes.
But making sure your computers are charged, your laptops, whatever you've got, keepsakes. But making sure the house is prepared as possible as well. And people know about clearing gutters out. Downpour of rain, it minimises water into the house. Making sure your items are maintained. Having a roof that's ready to take a bit of a hit and a long-term bit of rain. And the normal things around projectiles. And there's lots of good stuff online from the State Emergency Service on that. But it really comes back to looking after your personal needs. And the thing we're emphasising this year is, one of the things we do as an insurance operation is we make sure we're ready for claims, but we want people to be claims ready themselves too. And there's a bit involved in that as well.
Bradley, I presume you've noticed, like I've noticed, the population increase. It is more than steady up here. I get caught out all the time by 5,000 every time. I remember thinking not that long ago, it's 150. We've reached 100, and then next time, a few months later, it's 155, then 160, and just the other day, in fact, it was last week, someone was on the program saying, yes, our population of, I think it was Brett Olds, our population of 176,000. It's steepling. I don't know about the magnetism of it. I mean, the people that come up here to live, generally speaking, love it and stay forever. But gee, the word's getting out, Brad. There are a whole lot of people coming up here that would not have would not experience a cyclone or a big wet, and probably don't have much knowledge about how to cope.
That's true, John. The population growth in North Queensland has been exceptional.
Yes.
And of course, why wouldn't you want to live up there as well? But and that's before you start getting to tourists and people coming in as well. But understanding all of the things, the realities that happen in an event, and as we say, being claim ready yourself. And what we say there is to start thinking about what's going to happen if you need to move out of the house. What are your preferences if you do need to move out, or would you prefer to stay in the house if we can make it safe? And We've done a lot of things in that space during Jasper, but also since then as well around technology and around systems and processes. We did a lot of things in Jasper, like created temporary kitchens where we could put temporary kitchens into people's homes so they could stay in the house, still could live in the house, and cook and live and that sort of thing, because not everyone wants to get put in alternative accommodation, and many people took the option of buying a caravan, and we would hook that up to power. And so we would ask people to think about what their needs are in that situation and what options they've got available, because look, the reality is we know that there is a shortage of accommodation in the Cairns area, and that's a good thing. Tourism's taking it up, but so trying to understand what your own options are, and our role is to talk to people and say, what needs have you got, and then present choices to people in that situation. And that includes how we manage the claim as well. A lot of people want to get their homes renovated as part of the process, or they might want to do repairs first. So thinking about how it would look is an important thing. And our role is to find out what people's needs are and give them choices.
Well, you've taken my breath away with the temporary kitchens. How temporary are they? Meaning, at what stage would the owners ring you up and say, thank you for the temporary kitchen, but I don't need it anymore?
Well, how it works is, and we saw a lot of it with the flooding, where we could go in and dry the house out, clean the house out, because everyone knows the floodwaters cause a hell of a smell and a mess.
Yes.
So we can clean it out and get the house back into a livable position. But of course, if there's no joinery there, it takes a while to order new kitchen cabinets and that sort of thing. And so we had ones that we could wheel in, plumb them into hot water, cold water, dishwashers and all that sort of thing. And then people could still live in that period. So there were bench tops and cupboards and what have you, and stoves and what have you. So that allowed us to do that. And then while the home was being repaired, like, might be new tiles, might be new bathrooms or things like that, it just allowed people to stay. But so it just gave people the option to live in their house, stay in the community. People often have, it might be pets, it might be kids at school, it might be all sorts of individual scenarios. We always say to people with cleaning out a flooded home, think how long it takes if you were going to renovate your kitchen from absolute start to absolute end. And we've been doing, we did hundreds of those in the Cairns area. And so it does take a while. So giving people the option to stay there based on their needs. Other people are quite happy to move into alternative accommodation. And it's about what's important to the individual.
Gee, I bet you were struggling to find workers.
Look, it is hard. I think every industry in the country is finding that. It doesn't matter whether you're a restaurateur who needs to get waiters and chefs, or builders and that sort of thing. But our role is to organise that, and we've spent a lot of time during the event and since trying to perfect that situation. We've made a lot of changes to our computer systems, electronic direct entry into the system. So we've spent a lot of money on that, and we'll continuing to make ourselves ready as we can, and that's a permanent job for us, is to make sure we're ready to help people with their claims.
There you go. Well, I've got you there because you probably reminded some people that they might have had their insurance situation lapsed or they haven't checked in lately. Have you got some contact numbers there or ways for people to contact you?
Look, what we would say there is there's two options, or three options actually. People can go online. They can go on to www.shore-insurance.com.au and go through the process there. If people would prefer to talk to someone, we've got our sales people on 1300 392 535. Now, our sales team deal with one product. They deal with one area and they're specialists in that, and their job is to try and find the customer the best price they can by asking questions about all sorts of things around mitigation on the house, what's happened to the house. Or people can go and talk to their broker as well. So there are three options there, and sometimes people might want to check online and then they might want to phone us, or they might want to go and see their broker as well. So we'd encourage people to just go and check. We think that's the best option in that situation. It costs you nothing to check, costs you nothing to ask, and we'd suggest that's the best way.
Excellent update as always. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, John.
Bradley Heath is the Managing Director of Sure, S-U-R-E, Sure Insurance. And you've heard all those numbers, those contacts, so give them a tingle if all that information has reminded you of the approach of the, let's call it the difficult season, the challenging season.